Please remain standing for the national anthem sung by firefighter Regina Wilson.
Detail, hand salute.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ready, two.
Thank you, Firefighter Wilson. Please remain standing while FDNY Chaplain Father Joseph Hoffman delivers the invocation.
Let us recall that we are in the presence of God. Lord, we gather today to celebrate and congratulate those members of our department family who have given us vivid examples of bravery, self-sacrifice, and service in recent times. We are celebrating a group of people who have demonstrated to us the meaning of service, dedication, devotion, and selflessness, well beyond the call of duty. These well-deserved medals, which they receive today, are symbols which will remind us of what service and our department are all about. Service is about selflessness. It means thinking of the good of others first, not just what is good for me. It is showing care for others and being willing to take a risk to save and respect life. Loving God, we give you thanks for giving them to us and for using them to teach us the true meaning of bravery, generosity, dedication, and service to others. We thank you for blessing us with their presence and dedication, which has taught us so much. Continue to bless them and raise up more in our department who will serve as they do. May this day help us to learn what bravery, service, and courage are all about. Bless them and their families, our department and our city and country, today and forever. Amen.
Thank you, Father Hoffman. Please retire the colors. Will everyone please be seated?
Detail at ease.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a big good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. There we go. We're going to get the energy high. I am Captain Andrew Brown, and it is an honor to serve as Master of Ceremonies on such a proud day for this department. On behalf of the Mayor, Eric Adams, Fire Commissioner Robert S. Tucker, Chief of Department John Esposito, our executive staff, union, and elected officials, I would like to welcome you all to today's FDNY medal ceremony. A special welcome to all of today's medal winners. You make us proud. We are also honored to have several of our Medal Day donors, as well as the families of Medal Day recipients, join us today. I want to take a moment to also give our sincerest thanks and gratitude to Lieutenant Joe LaPointe. He marks 35 years on the job and will retire soon. He spent more than 20 years with the FDNY ceremonial unit and has set our standard of greatness. Let's give a big round of applause for Joe on a job well done. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Fire Commissioner Robert S. Tucker.
I just want you to know it's really an honor to stand here in front of all of you. So thank you, and thank you, Captain Brown, and obviously thank you to Joe LaPointe and to the whole ceremonial unit for always over-delivering at special events like this. And Mr. Mayor, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the fire department the way you do, and thank you for giving us your home to do this very, very special day and have it and celebrate with all these families. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to City Hall. This is an incredible day for the FDNY, for our members receiving medals, and for all of you, the family and friends who are here in support of them. I have attended Medal Day in my role as a board member of the FDNY Foundation, and I have to say that being up here looking out at all of you from these very, very famous and important steps is really cool. In the fire department, responding to fires and medical emergencies is what we do every day. We respond no matter the time or location, the danger or the threat. We come when called, period. Today, we celebrate the best of the best, the incidents that truly are hair-raising, truly are remarkable, and truly are heroic. We celebrate those moments that we know saved lives. One of the stories you'll hear about is how multiple members conducted several daring roof rope rescues in Harlem. 6 members will receive a medal for saving the lives of 3 people in that fire in a truly incredible effort. You'll also hear about the EMTs who moved quickly to save the lives of some young people caught in the surf off the Coney Island boardwalk. You'll hear about a new medal meant to honor a paramedic who truly exemplifies patience, expertise, and pragmatism. All these stories are remarkable, and stories just like them are happening every single day thanks to the FDNY. I hope you can take a snapshot of this moment, one that I hope will define your careers, because this is what it is all about. Knowing that the work you do really matters, and that on any given day, you can go from great to extraordinary. I'm humbled to be here. I'm humbled to celebrate you in this way and to give you the accolades you deserve for a job well done. So enjoy today. You've really, really earned it. Thank you, and stay safe.
Thank you, Fire Commissioner Tucker. Next, we'll hear from Chief of Department John Esposito.
Good morning, and it's great to see all our fire department family out here supporting our medal winners today. Very impressive sight. It's an honor to be here with you all today as we recognize the very best of the FDNY, those who have gone above and beyond because that is what the situation required. Each medal awarded today tells a story, one of decisive action, skill under pressure, and most of all, courage. When someone is trapped in a burning apartment, or clinging to a rock in rough water, or a child is hiding under a bunk bed while their house is on fire, and they realize they are in a bad situation and they can't get themselves out, I imagine that they're praying for help, praying that somebody will come and get them out of that situation. It is our New York City firefighters, EMTs, and paramedics. They are the ones that showed up to answer those prayers. They exposed themselves to enormous personal risk to rescue strangers. They went into situations that most people avoid, and they do it again and again because they know someone needs help. To all our medal winners, your actions represent the very best of this department. These were moments where everything came together, where training, timing, and teamwork led to lives being saved. You are why our city has faith in us. We are in awe of the incredible work you've done and continue to do. So today, we honor those who made a difference and the incredible feats of bravery that each of you have performed. Congratulations, and thank you all, and thank you to all of the medal recipients. Thank you for your courage, dedication, and the work you do day after day, no matter the risk. You ensure that the FDNY continues to be the great department that it is. God bless you, and God bless the FDNY.
Thank you, Chief Esposito. We will now hear from the Honorable Mayor Eric Adams.
Thank you so much, and to our 70 honorees, we have a special thank you for your actions and what you have carried out. And I want to thank First Deputy Mayor Randy Mastro, who realized how imperative it is to be here to celebrate those who put their lives on the line every day. And just think about it for a moment. Think about the natural instincts that's associated to fight and flight. Anytime you see danger, you have a natural instinct to want to survive and run away from the danger that you're facing. If it's a fire, or if it's an emergency, or any form of action that can bring you physical harm. Every day you go in contrast to that natural ability to run away. Imagine running towards danger. Imagine going against the natural instinct. Instead of fleeing from danger, running towards the danger, to sacrifice yourself to save the lives of your fellow New Yorkers. And one identified a fire department only associated with putting out fires. That is so far from untrue. EMS and FDNY, what you do every day, you were there when a ship hit the Brooklyn Bridge and we had to take off the lives of those who were injured and who we lost. You were there when there were bomb explosions. You were there when there are terrible car accidents. You were there when there are threats of possible gas leaks. You were there when individuals need emergency calls for medical attention. The fullness and the full scope of what you do go far beyond putting out fires. Your ability to be trained and always ready and always prepared. It is amazing to see and display. As I think about January during the first month in 2022 when I took office and we experienced the horrific fire that took place in the Bronx, and you responded and crawled along the walls and the halls on your knees and feet to find innocent victims. To be able to do this job every day, no matter who's the mayor, no matter who's the governor, no matter what laws are put in place, you get up and you answer the calls of duty. And the 70 people that we are honoring today is only representative of what you do each and every day. It's a words we'll never be able to replace the commitment and dedication of our first responders. As one of the individuals who wore that uniform as a police officer and always stood in amazement as you responded to some of the calls of services that you had to carry out every day, I could only say thank you. And my entire family that joined the police department, from my youngest brother to my cousins, we know what wearing these uniforms mean and what they represent. But more than that, we know what it means for the families. We know how much they carry out your tour with you every day. And we owe them a special thank you because they give you to us so that you can provide for this city. And we sit under the tree of freedom that many have watered with their bloods and commitment and dedication. And so I'm proud to be the mayor of the greatest city on the globe. And the city remains great because men and women do what's right, like you, every day to ensure we're the safest sixth big city in America. Thank you and congratulations to all the honorees.
Thank you, Mayor Adams. We will now commence with the presentation of medals. I will ask that the ceremonial officer escort the Deputy Mayor, Fire Commissioner, and Chief of Department to the area in front of the stage. Oh, you're going? Okay. Okay, go ahead. Our first medal is the Chief of the Department, Peter J. Gansey Jr. Medal, and the New York State Honorary Fire Chiefs Association Medal, awarded to firefighter Michael D. Cazzo of Ladder Company 28. On the afternoon of February 23, 2024, Ladder 28 arrived first due to a 6-story building in Manhattan. Hearing reports of people trapped at the top floor of the windows, firefighter Cazzo climbed to the aerial to the roof, anticipating the necessity of a life-saving rope rescue. Firefighter Jason Lopez was already on the roof, and he and firefighter Cazzo set up the rope to rescue people trapped at the windows. Firefighter Cazzo lowered Lopez to rescue the first victim, successfully lowering both of them and bringing the first victim to safety. Cazzo spotted another victim clinging to an adjacent window and determined that the victim's only chance of survival was to reuse the rope a second time. Attaching himself, firefighter Cazzo descended to the window. As the victim struggled to hold on, firefighter Cazzo supported the full weight of the person with his arms during the descent. Firefighter Michael Cazzo was instrumental in 2 of the 3 life-saving rope rescues conducted at this incident. For his decisive actions and fearless commitment to saving lives, the Chief of Department, Peter J. Gansey Jr. Medal, and the New York State Honorary Fire Chiefs Association Medal is awarded to firefighter Michael D. Cazzo, Ladder 28, the Harlem Hilton. Up next is the Christopher J. Prescott Medal, awarded to EMT Amber Black and EMT Mitchell Tarnopolsky, Station 43. On July 6, 2024, the FDNY EMS Summer Beach Gators responded to a drowning incident off Coney Island's West 23rd Street. EMT Tarnopolsky, a former New York City lifeguard, spotted 2 swimmers struggling far offshore, one visible going under. EMT Tarnopolsky immediately entered the water and swam to rescue them. His partner, EMT Amber Black, provided radio coordination and maintained visual oversight of the rescue, while EMTs from another unit entered the surf to assist. EMT Tarnopolsky successfully made contact with the swimmers and immediately took hold of and supported them intermittently submerging swimmer. EMT Tarnopolsky then gave verbal direction to the second swimmer to hold on to the legs of the secured swimmer, and while supporting both swimmers, began making his way to shoreline. The swift and selfless efforts of these EMTs ensured the safe recovery of 2 lives. For their teamwork, decisive actions, and bravery, the Christopher J. Prescott Medal is awarded to EMT Amber Black and EMT Mitchell Tarnopolsky of Station 43, the Fun House. Our next presentation is the Brooklyn Citizens Medal and Firefighter Louis Valentino Award, awarded to Lieutenant Edward Felton, Ladder Company 157. Just after 3 a.m. on December 28, 2024, Ladder 157 responded to a basement fire in a 2-story home in Brooklyn. Then firefighter Felton entered through the rear and encountered suffocating smoke and intense heat. He commenced his search for life and victims crawling through burning conditions. Down a hallway with fire rolling overhead, he discovered the main body of fire. He continued his search and found a victim pinned beneath a mattress. Firefighter Felton shielded the victim from the flames, dragged him through a maze of furniture and up the stairs to waiting members. Belton then returned to the basement to complete his search and regroup with other members inside. By risking his own safety, firefighter Belton successfully rescued a victim found in a very difficult position, ultimately saving his life. For his courage, determination, and unwavering commitment to protecting life, the Brooklyn Citizens Medal and Firefighter Louis Valentino Award is awarded to Lieutenant Edward P. Felton, Ladder 157, the Jolly Rogers. Up next is the Yadira Arroyo Medal awarded to EMT Severio Bosco Jr. and EMT Andrew Octera of Station 47. On July 7, 2024, multiple swimmers were caught in a dangerous rip current near the Beach 91 Street jetty on Rockaway Beach. EMT Octera and Bosco were assigned to one of the FDNY's swimmer beach gators when they were alerted that swimmers were in need of help. Knowing the swimmers were in danger of being pushed into the rocks from incoming tide and heavy surf, the EMTs decided to head to the jetty. EMT Bosco Jr. drove the gator while EMT Octera ran 5 blocks through the crowded beach and traversed 100 yards of slippery jetty to assist the patients and lifeguards. Working alongside off-duty Captain James Ellison, EMT Octera packaged and removed one patient, then positioned himself between another victim and the crushing surf to prevent them from falling back in. EMT Bosco coordinated medical equipment delivery and assisted in the final removal and care of all victims. Their efforts under dangerous and chaotic conditions helped save many lives. for their teamwork and courage in a high-risk rescue operation. The Yadira Arroyo Medal is awarded to EMT Severo Bosco Jr. and EMT Andrew Octera, Station 47, Best on the Beach. Up next is the U Bonner Medal and Honor Legion Medal presented to firefighter Matthew Nolan of Squad 41. On February 23, 2024, a fast-moving lithium-ion battery fire inside a Manhattan multiple dwelling trapped several residents on the upper floors. Squad 41 responded as radio transmissions of the jumpers and civilians hanging from windows were being transmitted. Squad 41's lieutenant ordered to the roof with a life-saving rope. Firefighters Nolan and Morrison climbed the aerial to the roof where one rope rescue had already taken place and a second was in progress. A third victim appeared at the window and firefighter Nolan clipped into the life-saving rope, mounted the parapet, and descended to the panicked victim. He wrapped his arms and legs around him as they were lowered to the ground. This was the third successful rope rescue performed at this fire. For his decisive action and composure during a highly dangerous operation, the Hugh Bonner Medal and the Honorary Legion Medal is awarded to firefighter Matthew Nolan, Squad Company 41, the best of both worlds. The next medal is the B.C. Thomas J. Neary Bronx Harlem Firefighter Medal, awarded to firefighter Jason Lopez of Ladder Company 28. On February 23, 2024, Ladder Company 28 responded first due to a fire in a multiple dwelling. Assigned to the roof position, probationary firefighter Lopez ascended the aerial to the roof and immediately observed civilians hanging out of the top floor windows with heavy smoke behind them. Recognizing the need to act quickly, he transmitted the intent to perform a roof rope rescue. With firefighter Michael Cotso preparing the rope and firefighter Christopher Dawkins acting as guide, firefighter Lopez clipped in and went over the parapet. He descended to a smoke-filled window and located a terrified victim clinging to the edge. Lopez calmly secured the victim, wrapped his arms around him, and they both were lowered safely towards the ground, the first of 3 successful rope rescues at this incident. For his bravery and swift action under extreme pressure, the B.C. Thomas J. Neary Bronx Harlem Firefighter Medal is awarded to firefighter Jason Lopez, Ladder 28, the Harlem Hilton. Now we present the Emily Trevor Merritt B. Warren Medal awarded to Battalion Chief Robert Wind, who was captain of Ladder Company 125 at the time of the incident. On January 13, 2024, just after 2 a.m., the members of Ladder 125 responded to a private dwelling in Queens with reports of a child trapped inside. Upon arrival, they encountered distraught family members and NYPD officers exiting the home, overcome by smoke. Without a charge line and fire rolling across the ceiling, then Captain Robert Wynn crawled past the main body of fire toward the front bedrooms. Entering through zero visibility, Captain Wynn began an aggressive search of the bedroom, located a bunk bed, and immediately searched both the top and bottom bunks. With no child in hand and conditioning deteriorating, Captain Wynn laid down on his stomach and swept his hands onto the bed, finding the child. He shielded the girl with his body and carried her through the fire conditions to the stairs. There he passed her to other members who brought her to EMS for treatment. Thanks to his courage and determination, the child made a full recovery. For acting swiftly and selflessly under extreme conditions to save a child's life, the Emily Trevor Mary B. Warren Medal is awarded to Battalion Chief Robert Wynn, former Captain 125, Clown College. Up next is the Thomas E. Crimmins Medal awarded to firefighter David Nkrumah of Ladder Company 47. On December 4, 2024, a fire broke out in a Bronx apartment building. Upon arrival, firefighter Nkrumah and the inside team forced entry into the locked fire apartment, despite being told it was unoccupied. Inside the apartment, Ladder 47's inside team was immediately met with heavy fire coming from the living room, which was to the right of the entrance. Without the protection of a charged hose line, they crawled past the living room and began their primary search of the apartment. Firefighter Nkrumah pushed deeper into the apartment and located an unconscious victim in the hallway. Without the protection of a hose line, he began removing the victim toward the door. Assisted by firefighter Victor Torres, firefighter Nkrumah shielded the victim from fire as they passed through increased heat. He was burned during the removal, but continued until the civilian was safely in the hallway. After transferring the victim to other members, firefighter Nkrumah returned to continue his duties as on the fire floor. For operating with courage and focus under extreme conditions, the Thomas E. Crimmins Medal is awarded to firefighter David Nkrumah, Ladder Company 47, the Castle Hill Gang. Our next presentation is the Thomas A. Kenny Memorial Medal awarded to firefighter Daniel Santonzi of Rescue Company 4. On August 4, 2024, Rescue 4 responded to a fire in a private dwelling where civilians were reported to be trapped. As the company arrived, heavy fire was blowing out of the exposure 2 side windows. Firefighter Santonzi forced entry to the first floor and entered the building. Firefighter Santonzi crawled up the burning staircase without the protection of a hose line at the top in zero visibility and heavy clutter. He began to search and gained access to a locked bedroom. Inside, firefighter Santonzi discovered an unconscious woman on the bedroom floor. He radioed at 10:45 and began dragging her across the smoke-filled apartment. He was joined by another firefighter, and together they crawled her towards the stairs. With fire continuing to burn below, firefighter Santonzi hoisted her over his shoulder and shielded her body as he descended. He carried her out of the building and directly to EMS. For his strength, resolve, and life-saving rescue under extreme risk, the Thomas A. Kenny Memorial Medal is awarded to firefighter Daniel Santonzi, Rescue Company 4, Popeye. Up next, we present the Walter Scott Medal awarded to firefighter Jeffrey Mirabel of Ladder Company 5-4. On September 4, 2024, fire broke out in a Bronx private dwelling with reports of people trapped. Making their way inside, members were met with an open apartment door, high heat and visible fire just inside the apartment. They pushed their way into the fire apartment under extreme heat, and firefighter Mirabel attempted to cool the overhead fire with the can extinguisher. The members began to search, and firefighter Mirabel heard muffled cries to his right. Without hesitation or the protection of a hose line, he crawled down the hallway, searching deep into the apartment. Firefighter Mirabel pushed through heavy fire and found a now unconscious woman in a rear bedroom. He pulled the victim through the burning apartment and met his officer, another member, at the apartment door. Together, they carried her down the stairs and immediately rendered care. For his bravery and perseverance, the Walter Scott Medal is awarded to firefighter Jeffrey Mirabel, Ladder Company 5-4. End of the story. All right. 40 more more to go. Hold on one second. Our next presentation is the John H. Prentice Medal awarded to firefighter Christopher Carlin of Ladder Company 5-6. On October 5th, 2024, Ladder 56 responded first due to a Bronx apartment fire with people trapped. Firefighter Carlin, assigned the outside vent position, was informed that there were numerous civilians on the front fire escape. Firefighter Carlin immediately made his way to the fire escape and used his hook to drop the escape ladder and made his way up. He assisted 4 civilians down the fire escape before making his way inside the fire apartment, where the inside team was blocked from entry to the fire apartment by clutter. Crawling through clutter, heavy smoke, and rolling fire, he located an unconscious victim under a couch. Firefighter Carlin removed the victim towards the door where he was met by his inside team. Together, they brought the person to EMS for care. Firefighter Carlin's action at this fire undoubtedly saved the civilian's life. For his bravery, initiative, and expert search under dangerous conditions, the John H. Prentice Medal is awarded to firefighter Christopher Carlin, Ladder Company 5-6, the House of Hate. What do you got, Malcolm? Dude, don't you get paid more than me? Next, the Henry D. Brookman Medal awarded to Battalion Chief Ryan Burrito, formerly captain of Ladder Company 34. In February 2024, Ladder Company 34 responded to a lithium-ion battery fire in a 6-story Manhattan building. The members of Ladder 34 were responsible for searching and operating on the floor above the fire. The fire apartment door had been left open and the lithium-ion battery fire had engulfed a 3rd-floor apartment, causing heavy fire and smoke to enter the extended up the adjacent open stairwell. These conditions trapped numerous civilians on every floor above the fire, and then Captain Brito and the inside team aggressively passed the fire floor. Arriving on the 4th floor, Brito rapidly searched the blacked out and heat-scorched public hallway. In zero visibility, he located not 1, but 2 unconscious victims. With help from other members, he removed both victims and returned to complete the fire apartment search. For his heroic effort and exceptional leadership under severe condition, the Henry D. Brookman Medal is awarded to Battalion Chief Ryan Brito, formerly captain of Ladder 34, where Harlem reaches the heights. Up next is the Chief Ulysses Grant Leadership Medal awarded to Lieutenant Justin H. Kenny of EMS Special Operations. On the night of July 4, 2024, what began as a festive Independence Day gathering in Manhattan turned into a mass casualty incident. A speeding vehicle driven by an intoxicated individual jumped the curb, smashed through a fence, and hit a crowd of civilians. Several people were trapped under the wreckage. Lieutenant Justin Kenny played a pivotal role in coordinating the extrication and care of 2 severely trapped patients. One victim was pinned beneath the vehicle, surrounded by bleachers. The other was wedged between a fence foundation and the car, requiring coordinated operation between fire companies and ESU. Navigating these obstacles, Lieutenant Kenny provided essential direction to BLS crews while working alongside rescue and HAZTAC units, and remained at the side of each victim, directing EMS operations, communicating clearly with fire and rescue personnel, and ensuring treatment and safe removal under immense pressure. For his exceptional command, presence, and commitment to the duty during a volatile and high-stakes incident, the Chief Ulysses Grant Leadership Medal is awarded to Lieutenant Justin Kenny, EMS Special Operations. Up next is the Hispanic Society 23rd Street Fire Memorial Medal of Valor awarded to firefighter Brian Garcia of Ladder Company 163. On August 4, 2024, Ladder 163 responded to a private dwelling fire with multiple people trapped inside. Firefighter Garcia, assigned to the outside vent position, quickly grabbed a 24-foot extension ladder and made his way down the driveway past the fire. He climbed the ladder to access a 2nd-floor bedroom where people were reportedly trapped. Operating a thick smoke with little visibility, he located an unconscious child and carried them down to a stairwell, shielding the child with his body. He then carried the child down a nearby set of stairs after determining that it would be too difficult to exit through the window while carrying the victim. Firefighter Garcia made his way through the home to the exit while shielding the young victim from the intense heat of the fire with his bunker coat. His incredible courage and initiative exemplifies the finest traditions upheld by the FDNY. For this, the Hispanic Society 23rd Street Fire Memorial Medal is awarded to firefighter Brian Garcia, Ladder Company 163, the Woodside Warriors. Our next medal is the M.J. Delahanty Medal, awarded to firefighter Rafael Jamosin of Ladder Company 51. On July 20th, 2024, Ladder 51 responded first due to a lithium-ion battery fire in a Bronx home. Upon arrival, firefighter Jamosin, assigned the roof was altered, was alerted that someone was trapped inside. Without hesitation, firefighter Jamosin went up to the short stoop in the rear, vented the sliding glass door on the first floor, donned his SCBA, and entered the dwelling. While he searched the rear bedroom, numerous lithium-ion batteries exploded, causing the main body of fire to quickly grow and conditions in the bedroom to rapidly deteriorate as he continued to search. Firefighter Jamosin located an unconscious victim on the floor next to the bed. He carried the victim to safety and medical treatment with help from a member of 51 Truck before returning to complete primary searches. For his selfless courage in an unpredictable fire, the M.J. Delahanty Medal is awarded to firefighter Rafael Jamosin, Ladder 51, the occupied North Bronx. Up next is the Mayor Fiorello H. LaGuardia Medal, awarded to Lieutenant Kevin M. Carrain of Ladder Company 154. Just before 3 a.m. on March 30th, 2024, Ladder 154 responded first due to a report of smoke in a 7-story multiple dwelling in Queens. Lieutenant Carrain and his inside team made their way to the 6th floor and determined which apartment the smoke was coming from. They forced the apartment door and dense black smoke began entering the hallway. Without the protection of a hose line, Lieutenant Carrain and the other members entered the apartment to begin their search. He passed by and navigated heavy clutter and black smoke to reach the rear bedroom. There, he located an unconscious victim on the floor and immediately transmitted at 10:45. He removed the victim through the burning apartment to the hallway to waiting members. Lieutenant Carrain returned to the apartment to complete his search. For operating under punishing conditions to save a life, the Mayor Fiorello H. LaGuardia Medal is awarded to Lieutenant Kevin Carrain, Ladder Company 154, the Jackson Heights Knights. Yep, got plenty. Thank you. Yep, thank you. Up next is the William F. Kern Medal, awarded to firefighter Michael Ganone of Ladder Company 174. In the early morning hours of May 4, 2024, Ladder 174 responded to a report of smoke in a resident complex in Brooklyn. Upon arrival, they were directed to the first-floor apartment in the B wing of reports of trapped occupants. Firefighter Ganone, assigned the forcible entry position, entered the apartment under high heat and zero visibility. As fire grew in the living room, firefighter Ganone pushed past the fire in search of victims. In the rear bedroom, he located an unconscious person on a bed. With fire now rolling across the ceiling, firefighter Ganone began removing the lifeless victim toward the apartment entrance. where another firefighter met him to assist in the removal. The firefighters removed the victim to the hallway where members began life-saving measures and transported her out of the building to EMS. Firefighter Ganone's diligent search efforts under punishing conditions led him locating and removing an unconscious victim suffering from burns and smoke inhalation. For his bravery and resolve under deteriorating conditions, the William F. Conrad Medal is awarded to firefighter Michael Ganone, Ladder Company 174, Snyder Island. The next medal is the Chief John J. McElligott Medal Firefighters Fitzpatrick and Frisbee Award, presented to Lieutenant Brian P. Currid of Ladder Company 33. On February 15, 2024, Ladder 33 responded first due to an advanced fire in the Bronx brownstone. With fire venting out the windows and heavy smoke pushing from above, Lieutenant Brian Currid led his inside team up the stairs where they were met with flames from floor to ceiling. After Engine 42 pushed forward with a line, Lieutenant Currid made entry into an apartment in the adjoining room to begin a primary search. In zero visibility with fire rolling overhead, Lieutenant Currid crawled into a bedroom. He located an unconscious woman 10 feet inside. He transmitted at 10:45 and began removing her along through fire and smoke. He met other members in the hallway who assisted in bringing the victim to EMS. Lieutenant Currid then returned to complete the rest of the search. Lieutenant Currid put himself at great personal risk to rescue this victim. For these actions under extreme fire conditions, the Chief John J. McElligott Medal is awarded to Lieutenant Brian Currid, Ladder Company 33, the Animal House. Up next, the Thomas F. Doherty Medal awarded to firefighter John Labachek of Rescue Company 4. On August 4, 2024, Rescue 4 responded to a fire in a two-story private dwelling in Queens. Dispatchers had received numerous calls that people were trapped on the second floor. Firefighter Labachek, assigned to the roof position, sized up the building and proceeded to the rear. Firefighter Labachek immediately transmitted that a civilian was at the top floor window with smoke behind him. Using a ladder from the adjacent residence, he climbed to the rear covered porch and positioned it to the second floor window. Firefighter Labachek removed one resident from the window and was told others were still inside. Firefighter Labachek repositioned to an adjacent bedroom where black smoke and heavy heat were coming out of the window. He crawled into the cluttered room and located an unconscious man wedged between furniture. Despite deteriorating fire conditions below, firefighter Labachek wrapped the victim in a webbing, dragged him out of the bedroom, and carried the victim down to EMS. For his aggressiveness, selfless actions that saved the victim, the Thomas F. Doherty Medal is awarded to firefighter John Labachek, Rescue Company 4, Popeye. Now we present the Bella Stifle Medal to firefighter Kevin C. Ruffledge of Ladder Company 18. On November 14, 2024, Ladder 18 responded to a fire in Manhattan. Smoke and heat filled the hallway of the 11th floor where residents, mainly elderly, were reportedly trapped. Firefighter Ruffledge and Ladder 18's inside team exited the elevator on the 9th floor, 2 floors below the anticipated fire floor. Unexpectedly, they encountered a heavy smoke condition in the public hallway. They identified the fire department, and firefighter Ruffledge forced the fire department's fortified door, encountering zero visibility and high heat. Knowing the apartment had elderly tenants, he immediately began a right-hand search. He passed fire and found an unconscious woman in a bedroom. Shielding her body with his own, he carried her through the apartment, down the stairwell, and met another member to assist with her transport to EMS. Firefighter Ruffledge's determination, quick thinking, and commitment to saving lives were instrumental in the success of this operation. For his courage, the Bella Stifle Medal is awarded to firefighter Kevin Rutledge, Ladder Company 18, Fort Pitt. Our next presentation is the Tracy Allen Lee Medal awarded to paramedics Amanda Saja and Philip Dacey of Station 14. On October 6, 2024, paramedics Saja and Dacey were clearing up from a medical call in the Hunts Point section of the Bronx. As they completed paperwork in their ambulance, a frantic civilian flagged them down. A woman was being viciously attacked by a large dog. Without hesitation, the paramedics rushed to the scene. At the scene, they witnessed a woman who was pinned in a corner, actively being mauled by a vicious dog and screaming for help. Paramedic Saja pulled the dog off the victim by its collar, sustaining serious lacerations. While this occurred, paramedic Dacey shielded the bystanders from the still loose dog and was also bitten. Together, despite their injuries, they protected the victim and bystanders until paramedic Dacey was able to restrain and pin it to the ground. Paramedic Dacey kept the dog secured until NYPD arrived, while paramedic Saja began to care for the attacked patients. Through numerous serious dog bites, they worked together to keep the safety and well-being of the patient and bystanders their #1 priority. For their dedication and service, the Tracy Allen Lee Medal is awarded to paramedics Amanda Saja and Philip Dacey, Station 43, South Bronx. Up next, the Vincent J. Kane Medal awarded to firefighter Mark J. Douglas, Jr. of Ladder Company 45. When Ladder Company 45 was dispatched to a two-alarm fire in Manhattan on February 23, 2024, they knew that the members already on scene were dealing with challenging conditions with numerous victims. Ladder 45 was assigned to go to the top floor. Firefighter Douglas and the inside team climbed to the top floor through smoke-filled and crawling and crowded stairwells. Ladder 45's officer split the team so they could quickly execute a primary search of the top floor. Firefighter Douglas was directed to search the apartment across the hall, which was in the same line as the fire department. Firefighter Douglas pushed through zero visibility and heavy clutter. He finally fell to bed where he located an unconscious male victim. He immediately transmitted 1045 and began to remove the victim to the hallway. Firefighter Douglas navigated crowded stairs and hose lines to bring the victim to safety, then returned to complete the search. For extreme bravery, the Vincent J. Kane Medal is awarded to firefighter Mark Douglas, Ladder Company 45, the Big House. Now we present the Pulaski Association Medal awarded to firefighter Isnaldo Perez of Engine Company 60. Detailed to Ladder 17 on the morning of January 13, 2024, firefighter Perez was among the members who responded first due to a fire in a 20-story Bronx high-rise. Members from Ladder 17 made their way to the lobby where a tenant confirmed the floor and location of the fire department. Upon arrival on the 19th floor, they quickly located the fire department and forced the door. The members found a heavy fire in the living room, and firefighter Perez crawled past to proceed down a narrow hallway towards a rear bedroom. He found an unconscious victim and began immediately removing them down the hallway toward the apartment door. With the help of his officer, he removed the victim to the waiting members before returning to the fire department. Firefighter Perez put himself in significant danger at this incident, crawling past a rapidly intensifying fire with zero visibility without the protection of a hose line. For his actions, the Pulaski Association Medal is awarded to firefighter Isnaldo Perez, Engine Company 60, the Green Berets. Up next, the Commissioner Edward Thompson Medal is awarded to firefighter Joseph Pancini of Ladder Company 127. On February 8, 2024, Engine Company 298 and Ladder Company 127 responded first due to a report of a fire in the rear of a private dwelling. A column of smoke could be seen from a few blocks away. Firefighter Pancini, operating as a chauffeur, set up the tower ladder and accessed the second floor from the bucket. Amid worsening smoke and rising heat, he heard radio transmission of a fire in the rear setback and made his way to the rear via the interior of the home. While the fire rolled overhead, firefighter Pancini crawled through the kitchen and living room making a search. He discovered an unconscious male in the corner and began removal. With help from his officer, firefighter Pancini brought the victim to safety and performed life-saving care until EMS arrived. His selfless and aggressive actions ensured the survival of this victim. For his bravery, the Commissioner Edward Thompson Medal is awarded to firefighter Joseph Pancini, Ladder Company 127, Hillside Hurricanes. Now we have the Colombian Association Medal awarded to firefighter Dwayne L. Davis of Rescue Company 3. On February 23, 2024, Rescue 3 was assigned to a multiple dwelling fire in Manhattan. The fire, ignited by a lithium-ion battery, was pushing out of a third-floor apartment and roaring up the open stairwell of the building. Firefighter Davis ascended the stairs past heavy heat and smoke to the 5th floor, 2 floors above the fire. With no line yet in place, firefighter Davis searched multiple apartments and zero visibility in the rear kitchen of one unit. He located an unconscious victim. Crawling on his hands and knees, he began the difficult removal down the tight interior stairwell. Once the victim was passed to other members on the 2nd floor, firefighter Davis went back up to the 5th floor to finish his search. Firefighter Davis' heroic actions are an affirmation of why people around the globe refer to the FDNY firefighters as the bravest. For his bravery, the Colombian Association Medal is awarded to firefighter Dwayne Davis, Rescue Company 3, Big Blue. Up next, the Susan Wagner Medal awarded to firefighter Thomas Heedles of Ladder Company 148. On March 22nd, 2024, Ladder Company 148 responded second due to a fire with reports of people trapped in a rapidly spreading blaze affecting 2 buildings in Brooklyn. Heavy black smoke pushed from the front doors as civilians reported occupants trapped inside. Inside, Lieutenant Richard Cannon, firefighter Thomas Heedles, and firefighter Daniel Watts entered without a hose line, facing intense heat and zero visibility. Firefighter Heedles conducted a right-hand search and found an unconscious elderly woman on a daybed amid rolling fire overhead. He quickly transmitted a 1045, shielded her from the heat. He carried her 20 feet to safety without assistance. After transferring the victim to EMS, firefighter Heedles re-entered to continue his search. His swift, courageous action under life-threatening conditions without a hose line saved a life. For his bravery and skill, and embodying the highest FDNY traditions, the Susan Wagner Medal is awarded to firefighter Thomas Heedles of Ladder Company 148. It ain't easy. Up next is the Steuben Association Medal presented to Captain Curtis Nimzek. On January 23, 2024, Lieutenant Curtis Nimzek, now captain of the Tower Ladder Company 159, responded to a report of smoke in a 7-story Brooklyn building. Upon arrival, he detected heavy smoke on the 2nd floor and used a thermal imaging camera to locate the fire apartment. A radio notification revealed a civilian trapped hanging from a 2nd floor window, entangled in a safety guard, and badly burnt. Lieutenant Nimzek and his team forced entry, and he crawled through the fire without a hose line, shielding the victim from intense heat with his own body. With the fire rapidly spreading and stairwell access cut off, firefighters outside set up a portable ladders for rescue. While firefighters freed the victim, Nimzek continued to shield the victim despite the heat penetrating his bunker coat. After extinguishing flames around them, the victim was safely removed via ladder. Nimzek then returned inside to guide engine 323 to the main fire for extinguishment. His decisive actions, courage, and leadership on the extreme danger saved a life and prevented a tragedy. For his heroism, the Steuben Association Medal is awarded to Captain Curtis Nimzek, Ladder Company 159, the Friendly Firehouse. The next medal is the Chief James Scullion Medal, awarded to Ethan Liu and firefighter John Perez. On May 30th, 2024, EMTs Liu and John Perez, now firefighter, responded to a man in crisis, perched 20 feet high in a building or awning, threatening to jump. The man spoke only Spanish, so EMT Perez communicated with him in his native language, while EMT Liu secured the scene and requested additional support. To get close, EMT Perez climbed the wrought iron fence and balanced atop an air conditioning unit just feet from the distressed man, despite the dangerous drop below. Using calm and empathetic conversations, talking about sports and family, Perez worked to build trust and de-escalate the situation. Soon after, NYPD ESU arrived and with Perez's translation, convinced the man to safely come down. Liu and Perez then provided medical care and transported him to the hospital. Their quick thinking, compassion, and exceptional communication skills transformed a life-threatening crisis into a safe rescue. For their heroic efforts and dedication, the Chief James Scullion Medal is awarded to EMT Liu and firefighter John Perez of Station 13, the Knights of the Heights. The next medal is the Dr. J.W. Golden Kranz Medal, awarded to firefighter James Sutar III. On July 17, 2024, Ladder Company 41 responded to a fire on the third floor of a 5-story building in the Bronx. Arriving first, they faced heavy fire from third-floor windows. Captain Paul Delio, firefighter James Sutar III, and firefighter Jean Carlos Arias quickly ascended the interior stair to the fire floor, encountering high heat and zero visibility. Without a charge hold line, firefighter Sutar bravely passed the rapidly spreading fire in the living room to search the hallway and rear bedroom. He found the victim in the hallway, notified Captain Delio, and began removing her past the fire to safety. After handing off the victim, Sutar returned to find a second victim in the rear bedroom. Together with Captain Delio, he removed the second victim through dangerous conditions to the street. Firefighter Sutar's courage and determination in operating under extreme risk without hose line protection directly saved 2 lives. For his selfless bravery and dedication to duty, the Dr. J.W. Golden Kranz Medal is awarded to firefighter James Sutar III of Ladder Company 41, Morris Park Fire Department. This year's Uniformed Fire Officers Association Medal awarded to Lieutenant Patrick Donaghy. On June 20th, 2024, Lieutenant Patrick Donaghy of Ladder Company 36, while detailed to Ladder Company 33, responded to a fire on the 6th floor of a 6-story non-fireproof apartment building. Upon arrival, Donaghy and his team encountered heavy smoke and fire consuming a den near the apartment entrance. Despite zero visibility, Lieutenant Donaghy directed his team to force entry and contain the fire. Hearing someone yell from the rear of the apartment, Donaghy crawled toward the voice, directing the firefighter to search the opposite side. Fire spread to the kitchen, making conditions worse. Donaghy found an unconscious woman partially under a bed in the first bedroom. He immediately transmitted at 10:45 and with assistance, removed her past the fire to the hallway. The woman was not breathing but received life-saving treatment from an engine company and was transferred to EMS. Lieutenant Donaghy and his team returned to complete the search, and 2 conscious victims sheltered in place were safely removed after the fire was extinguished. For his bravery and operating without a hose line protection, the Uniform Fire Officer Association Medal is awarded to Lieutenant Donaghy of Ladder Company 36, the Brick House. Up next, the American Legion Fire Department Post 30 Mark M. Wolfeld Memorial Medal is awarded to firefighter Robert Velasquez. Stand by. Page is sticking together. Up next, the William Gertrude Friedberg Medal is awarded to firefighter Mark Silvers. In the early hours of December 17, 2024, firefighter Mark Silvers of Squad Company 252 played a critical role in rescuing an unconscious victim from a burning 3-story mixed-use building. Despite zero visibility and intense heat on the floor directly above the heavy fire, Silvers relied on his training and determination to conduct an aggressive search. Crawling through the smoke-filled apartment, he found the victim laying face down in a bedroom. Recognizing the victim's size, Silvers called for assistance from firefighter William Gill and carefully prepared the victim for removal. Together, they carried the unconscious person down the interior stairs and out to the street. Once outside, Silvers began life-saving intervention and, with the help from Engine Company 290 chauffeur, worked tirelessly until the victim began breathing again. Silvers' courage and skill were evident as he operated in hazardous conditions without a hose line in place. Facing high heat and untenable conditions, his decisive actions and unwavering commitment directly saved a life. For his extraordinary bravery and professionalism during his rescue, the William and Gertrude Friedberg Medal is awarded to firefighter Mark Silvers of Squad Company 252. In Squad, we trust. Brother Wolfeld. Up next, the American Legion Fire Department Post 93rd Mark M. Wolfeld Memorial Medal is awarded to firefighter Robert Velasquez. On October 3rd, 2024, Engine Company 257, Tile Letter 170, and Battalion 5A responded to a water rescue at Canarsie Pier in Brooklyn. Upon arrival, Tile Letter 170 identified the victim's last known location under the pier, where visibility was poor and the victim was submerged. Recognizing the victim's reduced mobility from cold water exposure, Ladder 170's Lieutenant Clifford Zielman ordered firefighters Robert Velasquez and Andrew Spadaro to enter the water using the GO method. Tethered to safety line, Velasquez and Spadaro descended a 20-foot ladder into near total darkness. Velasquez's tether became tangled underwater, forcing him to release it to reach the victim quickly. He found the victim weighed down by 60 pounds of rock tied around his waist. Despite zero visibility and a strong tide, Velasquez swam the victim back to the ladder, where he and Spadaro secured the victim in a Stokes basket and hoisted him to safety. Firefighter Velasquez's courage, quick thinking, and willingness to take extreme personal risks were critical to saving the victim's life. For his heroic actions under hazardous conditions, the American Legion Fire Department Post 930 Mark M. Wolfeld Memorial Medal is awarded to firefighter Robert Velasquez of Ladder Company 170, Canarsie's bravest. Up next, the Arthur J. Lawful Memorial Medal is awarded to Kevin Purdy. On November 27, 2024, firefighter Purdy of Ladder Company 46 was assigned the roof position during a fire in the C wing of a 6-story, non-fireproof multiple dwelling. The building's open interior allowed smoke and heat to rapidly spread above the first floor fire. After coordinating roof operations, firefighter Purdy observed heavy smoke pushing from the roof bulkhead, and recognizing the urgency, he decided to conduct a top floor search. Descending into the sea wing's top floor, he encountered extreme heat and zero visibility. Without the protection of a hose line, firefighter Purdy crawled into the smoke-filled hallway, relying solely on touch. He located an unconscious victim, secured them using his personal weapon, and dragged them back to the A stairwell. Summoning his strength, he carried the victim down 6 flights of stairs to the lobby, where the person began breathing again and was handed off to EMS. Firefighter Purdy's courage, quick decision-making, and physical determination directly saved the life. For his bravery and exceptional performance under life-threatening conditions, while exemplifying the highest standards of the FDNY and the roof firefighter role, the Arthur J. LaFleur Memorial Medal is awarded to firefighter Kevin Purdy of Ladder Company 46, the pride of Kingbridge. This year's recipient of the Emerald Society Pipes and Drums Medal is being awarded to Lieutenant Michael McPartland. On September 20th, 2024, at 3:40 a.m., Engine 255 and Ladder Company 157 responded to a fire in a 3-story private dwelling in Brooklyn. With multiple calls reporting people trapped, upon arrival, heavy smoke, visible fire from the 2nd floor, and screaming occupants confirmed the urgency. Ladder 157 inside team under Lieutenant Mike McPartland and firefighters Andrew Lynn and James Devane forced entry and encountered severe clutter, hindering searches. Despite zero visibility, oppressive heat, and no hose line protection, the team pushed to the 2nd floor. Lieutenant McPartland led the search, navigating around large furniture and boxes to find an unconscious woman buried under debris. He carried her to the stairs, where firefighter Devane assisted in removal. Lieutenant McPartland returned to assist firefighter Lynn, who had discovered a 2nd victim on the 3rd floor. Together, they removed the victim and continued their search into the attic, where fire had extended. With limited air supply and conditions worsening, Lieutenant McPartland directed the team's final search and called for a hose line to extinguish the fire. Because of his decisive leadership, courage, and life-saving actions under extreme conditions, the Emerald Society Pipes and Drums Medal is being awarded to Lieutenant Mike McPartland of Ladder Company 157, the Jolly Rogers. This year's recipient, stand by. Now we have the Company Officers Association Medal awarded to Lieutenant Rahid Khan. On July 11, 2024, Ladder Company 129 responded first due to a reported fire in a multiple dwelling in Queens. Upon arrival, there were no visible signs of fire until workers and civilians directed members to the affected apartment. Ladder 129's inside team, Captain Paula Grusso, firefighter Rahid Khan, now a lieutenant, and firefighter Dominic Nuzzi proceeded to the fire apartment, where they encountered smoke and a locked door. Firefighter Khan forced entry through multiple locks and an angle line, revealing high heat and heavy smoke. Captain Agruso located the fire in the living room and ordered Engine 273 to stretch a line. In worsening conditions, firefighter Khan searched one bedroom, then entered a cluttered hallway toward a 2nd room. There he discovered an unconscious man. Despite zero visibility and intense heat, and without the protection of a hose line, Khan used all his strength to reposition and drag the victim to safety through the fire. His courage, quick thinking, and determination under extreme conditions directly contributed to saving a life. For his bravery and actions in the highest tradition of FDNY, the Company Officers Association Medal is awarded to Lieutenant Rahid Khan of Ladder Company 129, downtown Flushing. Up next, the Eda B. Goldman Medal is awarded to firefighter Joseph Tentor-Romano. On the morning of June 22nd, 2024, Ladder Company 172 responded first due to a fire in a 2-story private dwelling in Brooklyn. Upon arrival, heavy smoke was seen from a 1st-floor window. While Engine 330 stretched a handline, Ladder 172 inside team, Lieutenant Vincent Cavallari, firefighter Michael Gusiamano, and probationary firefighter Joseph Tentor-Romano forced entry after learning an elderly woman lived on the 1st floor. Once inside, they encountered zero visibility and intense heat, choosing to proceed without a hose line to search for the victim. Lieutenant Cavalieri located the fire using a thermal imaging camera and went to inform Engine 330 of its location. Firefighter Cusimano began a right-hand search, while probationary firefighter Tenta Romano immediately began a left-hand search deeper into the apartment. Despite the extreme heat and smoke, Tenta Romano reached the kitchen and located an unconscious resident. He secured her with his weapon and began dragging her to safety. With assistance from firefighter Cusimano and he removed the victim to the street, where Engine 250 began life-saving care. For his initiative, courage, and life-saving actions under fire, the Edith B. Goldman Medal is awarded to firefighter Joseph Tenta Romano of Ladder Company 172, 65th Street's bravest. Up next, the Lieutenant Kirby McElhern Medal is being presented to EMT Jeremy Quinones. On December 15, 2024, EMT Jeremy Quinones, an assignment receiving dispatcher appointed to FDNY in 1997, he helped save the lives of 3 children under the age of 2, each in separate emergencies during a single shift. His calm demeanor, quick thinking, and clear communication were vital in guiding panicked family members through life-saving actions before responders arrived. Just 1 minute into his shift, Quinones answered a call from a father whose infant son had turned blue. He gave precise CPR instructions, helping restore the child's breathing. Later, he assisted another caller with airway positioning of a struggling baby, enabling the child to breathe again. In his third call, he coached a frantic grandmother through steps to help her choking grandson until first responders arrived to continue care. EMT Quinones' ability to remain composed under intense pressure and deliver care, effective instructions prevented 3 potential tragedies. His outstanding performance that day exemplifies the life-saving impact of skilled emergency dispatchers. For his exceptional actions and dedication, EMT Jeremy Quinones is awarded the Lieutenant Kirby McElhern Medal. The next medal is the Chief Joseph B. Martin Medal, awarded to firefighter Brian Anderson. On February 11, 2024, firefighter Brian Anderson of Engine Company 247 responded to a first-floor fire in a 3-story dwelling. On arrival, heavy flames were visible and a child reported his father was trapped inside. With no ladder company yet on the scene, Lieutenant Louis Esposito entered the burning apartment to search. Firefighter Anderson assigned the nozzle to quickly stretch a hose line with his team. As they advanced, a sudden flashover engulfed the hallway and apartment. Anderson was blown back by the heat, but immediately opened the line, knowing members were trapped inside. Amid maydays and calls for help, he aggressively pushed forward under extreme heat and zero visibility, knocking back the fire. He extinguished the flames on a burning firefighter and continued to advance, locating Lieutenant Esposito and helping him behind the protection of a hose line. Anderson then found Ladder 148's officer in a fully involved kitchen and injured. He redirected the stream to clear a path and directed his backup to assist with the rescue. Firefighter Brian Anderson, courage, quick action, and determination under life-threatening conditions directly saved lives and contained the fire. For his heroic action, the Chief Joseph B. Martin Medal is awarded to firefighter Brian Anderson of Engine Company 247, Brooklyn's Heaven. Up next, the Police Honorary Legion Medal is awarded to firefighter Timothy Smith. On February 4th, 2024, Ladder Company 105 responded first due to a fire on the first floor of a 6-story building. Upon arrival, heavy flames and thick smoke were visible, and bystanders reported multiple victims trapped inside. Ladder 105's inside team, Lieutenant Terrence Sweeney, firefighter Timmy Smith, and firefighter Gary Granberg rushed into action. Lieutenant Sweeney squeezed through a partially blocked door into heavy smoke and heat, locating an unconscious adult behind the door. He and firefighter Granberg removed the victim. Granberg then found a second unconscious person who was also rescued. Meanwhile, firefighter Smith pressed deeper into the burning, cluttered apartment without a hose line, finding a third unconscious adult victim in the kitchen and began their removal. Firefighter Smith handed the victim off before returning to continue his search. Upon returning to complete his search, firefighter Smith found a fourth victim, a young child. He quickly removed the child, who was in critical condition, and administered CPR using a pocket face mask. The child regained a pulse and survived. Firefighter Smith's determination, bravery, and life-saving efforts under extreme conditions exemplify the highest traditions of FDNY. For his heroic actions, the Police Honorary Legion Medal is awarded to firefighter Timothy Smith of Ladder Company 105, Dean Street. The next medal is the firefighter David J. DeFranco Medal, which is being awarded to Lieutenant Scott Hammelberg. On the summer afternoon in August, Ladder Company 173 responded to a person in the water called near the North Channel Bridge. Upon arrival, members spotted 2 distressed kayakers, a father and a young son, clinging to a rope thrown by a fisherman from the bridge. High winds and rough water made the situation urgent, and no rescue boats had yet arrived. Firefighter Scott Hammelberg, now a lieutenant, leveraging his maritime experience, quickly assessed that the best way to reach the victim was to be lowered by rope from the 50-foot high bridge with assistance from firefighter Brendan Mahan and others. Firefighter Hammelberg donned a flotation device and was safely lowered to the kayakers. He secured the child with a flotation device, tied the kayakers together to prevent separation, and kept the father's kayak steady while treading water. Once the NYPD harbor boat arrived, firefighter Hammelberg safely assisted both father and son aboard and provided care until EMS arrived. His quick thinking, calm execution, and life-saving action exemplifies FDNY excellence. For his bravery and professionalism, the firefighter David J. DeFranco Medal is awarded to Lieutenant Scott Hammelberg, Ladder Company 173 on the bay. Up next, the Lieutenant James E. Zahn, Lieutenant Peter L. Toriano Memorial Medal is awarded to Lieutenant Richard Cannon. On May 4, 2024, while driving home with his family, Lieutenant Richard Cannon of Ladder Company 148 witnessed a high-speed crash on the Belt Parkway involving a Corvette and a BMW. The Corvette was on fire and the BMW severely damaged. Without hesitation, Lieutenant Cannon safely positioned his personal vehicle, called for help, and rushed into the active roadway to assist. He found the Corvette's driver unconscious and trapped. With the car engulfed in flames and the rear window starting to fail, Lieutenant Cannon forced entry through the passenger side. After an initial failed attempt, he methodically pulled the victim over the console in stages: head, torso, then legs, just as the car's interior began to burn. An off-duty EMT arrived, and together they moved the victim to safety and began treatment until FDNY units arrived. Lieutenant Cannon's bravery and decisive action saved the man's life in an extremely dangerous and rapidly involved situation, in full view of his family, including his 8-year-old son. Lieutenant Cannon embodied the courage and commitment of the FDNY. For his heroism, the Lieutenant James E. Zane, Lieutenant Peter J. Toriano Memorial Medal is awarded to Lieutenant Rich Cannon of Ladder Company 148. It ain't easy. Up next, the Deputy Commissioner Christine R. Godek Medal is being presented to Fire Marshals David Leibowitz and Matthew Rocco. In the early hours of July 4, 2024, FDNY responded to 2 fires in South Richmond Hill, Queens, a vehicle fire that spread to a second car, followed by a serious residential fire that hospitalized 2 adults with severe burns and smoke inhalation. The Bureau of Fire Investigation launched a probe with Fire Marshals Matthew Rocco and David Leibowitz joining the case. Working with the Special Investigation Unit, these marshals conducted interviews, collected evidence, and performed extensive video canvasses. Their analysis linked both fires and uncovered a third, previously unreported vehicle fire from the same morning. Surveillance showed a single suspect setting all 3 fires, including entering the residence before it ignited. Tracking the suspect's movements across the neighborhood, the marshals identified and located the arsonist. Under supervising Fire Marshals Philip Ma's direction, an arrest was executed. Rocco and Leibowitz then worked closely with the Queens DA's office to secure charges, including multiple counts of arson and reckless endangerment. For their relentless investigative work and commitment to public safety, Fire Marshals David Leibowitz and Matthew Rocco are awarded the Deputy Commissioner's Christine Godek Medal. Congratulations. This year's probationary firefighter Thomas A. Wiley Medal is being awarded to firefighter Thomas Canzaneri. On April 24, 2024, Ladder Company 134 was dispatched to a fire in a 2-family dwelling in Far Rockaway. With smoke visible and reports of a trapped occupant, a 1075 was transmitted en route. For probationary firefighter Thomas Canzaneri, this was his first fire. Arriving on scene, Canzaneri entered with Lieutenant Michael Pisciata and firefighter Patrick Goldberg. Occupants were fleeing, and an off-duty member confirmed someone was trapped in a 3rd-floor bedroom. As the team advanced, they encountered high heat, zero visibility, and uncontrolled fire spreading through the 3rd floor. At the same time, firefighter Benjamin Shivavi spotted a civilian gasping for air at the front window. With no time to wait for a hose line, the inside team with firefighter Canzaneri pushed through the hallway to the bedroom, located a disoriented man, and determined the window was the only viable escape route. Firefighter Shivavi positioned the aerial ladder, removed window barriers, and helped Canzaneri safely evacuate the victim. Despite being just 2 months into his career, firefighter Canzaneri demonstrated skill, composure, and bravery under extreme conditions. For saving a life during his first fire, the probationary firefighter Thomas A. Wiley Medal is awarded to firefighter Thomas Canzaneri of Ladder Company 134, The Big House. Up next, the Shelley Rothman Memorial Medal is being awarded to Captain George Polito. On July 2nd, 2024, at 3:56 a.m., Ladder Company 169 responded to a reported fire in a 4-story Brooklyn apartment building with reports of a person trapped in the cellar. Upon arrival, Captain George Polito and his team encountered heavy smoke coming from the basement. Residents confirmed someone was trapped inside. Without hesitation, firefighters Kirali Hasnowski and Nicholas Baglietta forced entry into the cellar, where they encountered zero visibility, high heat, and extreme clutter. Navigating through the maze-like storage areas, Captain Polito located a fire which included 3 burning e-bikes in an open section of the basement. He instructed firefighter Battaglia to stay by the fire and guide engine 246, while he and firefighter Hasnowski pushed deeper into the cellar. Captain Polito eventually found a sealed-off bathroom 100 feet in, where he discovered a victim gasping for air. With no ventilation and blocked exit, he used his tool to act as a noise beacon to signal his team, who helped guide the victim out through the hazardous smoke-filled basement. Their coordinated effort led to the successful rescue of the trapped occupant. For his leadership, courage, and determination under life-threatening conditions, the Shelley Rothman Memorial Medal is being awarded to Captain George Polito of Ladder Company 169, fighting Brighton. Next, the next medal, the Jack Pinchek Medal, is being awarded to EMTs Giovanni Gote and Maxwell Zinger. On December 4, 2024, FDNY EMTs Giovanni Gote and Maxwell Zinger of Station 18 responded to a call in the Bronx involving an emotionally disturbed individual. Upon arrival, they found an NYPD officer struggling to subdue the individual, who had become violent and managed to grab a taser from one of the officers. Recognizing the escalating danger, EMTs Goteg and Zinger courageously intervened to retrieve the weapon, putting themselves directly at risk. During the struggle, the patient assaulted both EMTs, striking them in the head. Despite the attack, they successfully recovered the taser and returned it to the officer, who then deployed it to safely subdue the individual. Their quick, selfless actions help prevent further harm to officers, the patient, and others on scene. For their bravery and commitment to protecting others at great personal risk, the Jack Pinchek Medal is being awarded to EMT Giovanni Gote and EMT Maxwell Zinger of Station 18, Bathgate's Best. Good. Game day, baby. Got that right. Count the sweat beads. Oh yeah, showtime. Keep it going. The next medal is the 2025 Captain Allison Russo North Star Medal, being awarded to Lieutenant Kathleen Wood. On October 6, 2024, Lieutenant Kathleen Wood responded to a 1013 call for urgent police assistance after an EMS officer was violently assaulted. Arriving with Lieutenant Alexandro Mihailscu, she found the injured police officer with signs of strangulation. Inside the apartment, 4 EMS members were struggling with a combative, possibly armed individual reportedly off behavioral medication. Recognizing the danger and chaos, Lieutenant Wood took immediate control. She bravely entered the apartment, physically removed EMS personnel who could not hear her commands due to the intensity of the situation, and issued clear orders to retreat. She also engaged the assailant's girlfriend to help de-escalate the conflict, preventing further violence. Thanks to her decisive actions, all EMS members were safely evacuated. When NYPD ESU arrived, Lieutenant Wood led them back into the apartment, where they subdued the assailant and recovered 2 knives and a handgun, confirming the life-threatening risk. Lieutenant Wood's courage, leadership, and calm under pressure prevented further injury and ensured her team's safety. For her heroic action, the 2025 Captain Allison Russo North Star Medal is being awarded to Lieutenant Kathleen Wood of Station 26, Tin House EMS. Up next, the Dr. Sheldon Jacobson Award is being presented to paramedic Franklin Kupferberg. Paramedic Kupferberg is honored with the inaugural Dr. Sheldon Jacobson Award for his extraordinary service, mentorship, and dedication for over more than 40 years of New York City's emergency medical services. A Columbia University graduate, Kupferberg began his EMS career in the early 1980s and completed paramedic training at St. Vincent's School of Nursing in 1982. He has served in various NYC hospitals and has been a key presence at EMS Station 4 since 2004. Known for his clinical excellence, calm demeanor, and compassionate care, Kupferberg has long been a mentor to new paramedics, guiding them with patience and high standards. His quiet leadership and commitment to both patients and colleagues have earned him a deep respect throughout the department. As the most senior paramedic still in the field, Kupferberg's impact is wide-reaching, helping shape the next generation of EMS professionals. Paramedic Kupferberg's legacy of service mirrors that of Dr. Jacobson, the father of NYC paramedicine, making him a fitting recipient of this prestigious award, recognizing innovation, mentorship, and life-saving dedication. Congratulations, paramedic Franklin Kupferberg of Station 4, the Lower East Side. Up next, the Lieutenant James Curran New York Firefighters Burn Center Foundation Medal is being awarded to Engine 295. On June 9, 2024, Engine Company 295 and Ladder Company 144 responded to a fire in a two-story private dwelling in Whitestone, Queens. Aware of the area's isolation and potential wind impact near the East River, Lieutenant Eric Shamming transmitted a 1075 upon arrival, identifying a wind-driven fire with exposure risk as flames engulfed the rear siding and nearby structures. A woman reported her husband might be trapped inside. Despite intense heat and fire from floor to ceiling, Engine 295's nozzle team, probationary firefighter Ibrahim Mangan and Angel Cado, and firefighter John Cooper aggressively advanced into the building, knocking out fire in the foyer and dining room to allow Ladder 144 to search. The team pushed through heavy fire on the first floor and then advanced upstairs, extinguishing all visible fire on the second floor. Operating the only hand line inside, Engine 295 also protected nearby exposures with a deck pipe. Their quick and coordinated actions under extreme conditions and with a largely inexperienced crew contained the fire to the original structure. For their bravery and effortness, Lieutenant Eric Shaman, firefighter Ibrahim M. Mangan, firefighter Angel M. Cotto Jr., firefighter Richard P. Kenny Jr., and firefighter John Cooper are receiving the Lieutenant James Curran New York Firefighters Burn Center Foundation Medal. Engine Company 295, the Whitestone Eagles. all ice packs are already melted. Lane Martin. can't get every. The next award is the firefighter Thomas R. Alsassa Memorial Medal presented to Squad Company 288. On February 19, 2024, Squad Company 288 responded as the second due engine to a fire in a two-story wood frame home. Upon arrival, they heard screams from trapped occupants on the front porch roof. Firefighter Anthony Rivas saw one victim being rescued, but noticed others still standing after their ladder fell. He quickly reset the ladder and rescued two panicked children through heavy heat and smoke. Meanwhile, firefighter Dane Martin positioned another ladder for further rescue. Inside the fire building, firefighters Richard Conway and McCoy helped advance the first hose line against heavy fire. With fire spread into an adjacent building, Lieutenant Joshua Wiener directed firefighter Rivas to stretch a third hose line from engine 292. With limited personnel, firefighter Martin assisted while Lieutenant Wiener and firefighter Rivas advanced the line into the neighboring building, knocking down fire on 2 floors before being ordered to briefly withdraw for exterior operation. Rejoined by their team, Squad 288 continued extinguishing fire on the second floor of the neighboring building until all visible fire was knocked down. For their coordinated rescue and fire suppression efforts under extreme conditions, the Thomas R. Alsassa Medal is being awarded to Lieutenant Joshua Wiener, firefighter Patrick Conway, firefighter John H. McCoy, firefighter Dane Martin, firefighter Lawrence Richards, and firefighter Anthony Rivas, Squad Company 288, the Crazy Eights. And then there's one. Last quarter. Last drive. Our final medal is the World Trade Center medal presented to the members of Ladder Company 18. On July 4, 2024, Ladder Company 18 responded to a mass casualty auto extrication in Manhattan after a pickup truck plowed into a crowd at a local park during a celebration. Upon arrival, they found the truck lodged between a fence and bleachers with victims trapped underneath. Due to the chaotic scene and limited access, Captain Brian Shamami and his team had to work swiftly and strategically. Firefighters used airbags, floor jacks, and cribbing to lift the vehicle and free 4 victims pinned onto various parts of the truck. Despite limited visibility, a growing crowd, and the complexity of the scene, the team remained composed and coordinated. Notably, 3 firefighters were probationary members who all operated with the skill and professionalism. In total, 7 patients were transported, including 3 in traumatic arrest. Ladder 18's swift and heroic actions were instrumental in the rescue efforts. For their heroics, the FDNY is proud to present the World Trade Center Medal to Captain Brian Shamami, Firefighter Kevin Allure Jr., Firefighter Michael Moreno, Firefighter Justin Rodriguez, Firefighter Dominic Torrey, and Firefighter Nicholas Willoughby. Ladder Company 18, Fort Pitt. Pay attention, Brito. McPartland, where you at? Team effort, baby, team effort. This year, the This is the love I got. But isn't that how the world works? One I shouldn't get wrong, one I don't need to read. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for all of this year's medal winners? Everyone, please remain standing for the benediction by FDNY Chaplain Rabbi Joseph Potasnik.
Ladies and gentlemen, Commissioner Robert Tucker reminded me some time ago that in the history of religion, no one has ever complained that a sermon is too short. So with your permission, I give you the abbreviated version. How do we bless you today? Shall we say that you love your job? You have that. Should we say that the people of New York City love you? You have that. But as you look around, you see all of these trees. There's a beautiful blessing when children are born. May the branches be as strong as the roots. You are the branches. You are here today because of your family roots and your faith roots. And we hope in the next generation, people will look back at you and say, you are the roots, and they, the branches, want to be strong as you. We bless you for all that you are. We bless you for all that you do. Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi Potasnik. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Mayor, Fire Commissioner, Chief of Department, and other members of the executive staff, thank you for joining us at today's medal ceremony. Before we end, we would like to take a group photo of all the medalists with the Mayor and Fire Commissioner, and with the Deputy Mayor, Fire Commissioner, and Chief of Department. Medalists, please rise and remain at your seats while the Fire Department photographer organizes the photos. Ladies and gentlemen, look out for each other and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you very much.
That's good.